Narrator, soft, serious tone. Sometimes it takes just one yellow light to reveal who someone really is. The sun was sliding behind the buildings of South Los Angeles, casting long shadows across cracked sidewalks. It had been hot all day, and the heat still lingered in the air, thick and tired. Traffic moved slow. Horns honked. Street vendors packed up near Slauson Avenue. Kids chased each other on bikes. 17-year-old Jaden Malik Carter was driving his black 2017 Honda Accord down Western Avenue, the AC humming low, the radio playing smooth R&B in the background. He wasn't speeding. He wasn't swerving. He was just going home. In the passenger seat sat a brown paper bag, groceries he'd just picked up for his mom. In the back seat, a blue duffel bag filled with clean clothes. Jaden had promised his younger brother he'd help him get ready for his first day of school. He looked tired but calm, focused but relaxed. He glanced up, the traffic light ahead turned yellow. He had time, so he tapped the brake and slowed to a stop. A few seconds passed, just long enough for a white police cruiser to roll up behind him. Jaden didn't think much of it. He'd seen cops on this street all his life. Some wave, some didn't. But this one turned on the red and blue lights. Narrator, low, steady. He hadn't done anything wrong. But that didn't mean he wouldn't pay the price. Jaden's heart dropped. Not panic, just heavy. Like something familiar. Something that always showed up, uninvited. He pulled over without a word. Signaled. Slowed. Parked neatly at the curb. Then he reached over and turned off the music. His right hand went to the steering wheel. His left rested where it could be seen. 2 hands. 10 and 2. Just like his mom taught him. Jaden, soft to himself. Just stay calm. Just stay respectful. You'll be fine. The door of the cruiser opened. Out stepped Officer Daniel Royce. Mid-30s. Buzz cut. Pale face. Yeah. He wore his uniform like it was armor. Stiff and untouchable. His boots hit the ground with heavy steps. And as he walked, his hand hovered near his holster. Casually, but intentionally. He didn't look curious. He didn't look concerned. He looked ready. Royce reached the driver's side window. Stared down through his sunglasses. No greeting. No explanation. Just presence. Officer Royce, flat. License and registration, boy. That word. Oi. Jaden didn't flinch. He reached slowly, eyes forward, speaking each move. Jaden, calm, clear. I'm reaching into my glove box now, sir. My license is in my wallet. I'll get it slow. Royce didn't respond. Just stood there like a statue watching for sudden motion. Jaden pulled out the documents, handed them over. Royce took them, looked down, then up again. His lips curled slightly. Not a smile. Not quite a smirk. Just something that said, I've already made up my mind about you. Officer Royce. Where you headed? Jaden. Home. I just left the store. Royce, raising an eyebrow. You live around here? Jaden. Yes, sir. 83rd and Figueroa. Royce didn't nod. Didn't write anything down. Didn't move. He just stared. Royce, slow, heavy. You know why I pulled you over? Jaden looked up, his voice still polite. Jaden. No, sir. I came to a full stop at the light. Royce, shrugging. I say you didn't. Narrator, quiet, cold. It didn't matter what was true. It only mattered what he believed. Royce stepped back a little, folded the documents in his hand, and tapped them against his palm. Royce. Step out of the car. Jaden blinked. Jaden. Is there a reason, officer? Royce, grinning now. Don't ask questions, boy. Just do what you're told. Jaden didn't argue. He unbuckled his seatbelt slowly, opened the door, and stepped out into the heat of the fading sun. But as he closed the car door gently behind him, he wasn't scared, just aware. Because something told him. This wasn't just a traffic stop. It was the beginning of something much bigger. Jaden stood outside his car. Hands visible. Posture calm. He didn't argue. Didn't raise his voice. He just stood there like someone who'd been here before. 'Cause he had. Officer Royce circled him slowly. Boots crunching against the broken pavement. Little too slow. A little too close. Royce, casual but sharp. Nice car. Yours. Jayden, still calm. Yes, sir. Registered under my name. Royce, pretending to joke. Funny. Doesn't look like the kind of car a high school kid should be driving. Jayden didn't answer that. He didn't have to. His silence said everything. Royce stepped closer. Royce asterisk. Hands on the hood. Jayden paused for a breath. His fingers flexed for a moment, then rested flat on the warm metal of his car. Jayden asterisk. I'm not carrying any weapons. Royce, grinning. We'll see. Narrator low. Asterisk. It wasn't about safety. It wasn't about protocol. It was about control. Asterisk. The pat-down started like any other. But then, Royce's hands lingered too long on the shoulders, pressed too firmly down the arms, searched the pockets with a little too much force. Jayden didn't react, didn't tense, didn't flinch. But inside he felt it. That familiar burn. Not from fear. From restraint. Royce mocking. You're awful quiet. Not used to being touched. Jayden didn't answer. Royce leaned in close to his ear. Royce, low voice. What are you hiding, boy? Jayden turned his head slightly. His voice was steady, controlled. Jayden asterisk. Nothing. Are you? That line landed like a quiet explosion. Royce stepped back. His smirk faded just a little. Narrator asterisk. Asterisk. Jayden wasn't fighting him. He was letting him dig his own hole. Asterisk. Royce walked around to face him again. Royce asterisk. What do you do when you're not running red lights and pretending to be polite? Jayden looked him in the eye. Not angry. Not scared. Just clear. Jayden asterisk. I stay quiet and let people show me who they really are. For a second, just a second, Royce blinked. He wasn't used to this. He was used to yelling, crying, panic. Not this. Not someone who stood still and let the weight shift back. Narrator asterisk. Asterisk. Power doesn't always shout. Sometimes, it just waits. Asterisk. Royce looked at the ID again. Turned it in his fingers. Back and front. His eyes narrowed. Royce, suspicious now. You from here? Jayden asterisk. Born in Inglewood. Moved around. Came back. Royce asterisk. You got friends in high places, Jayden Carter? Jayden shrugged lightly. Jayden flat. I know people who know the law. Royce's jaw moved slightly. The air between them shifted. He was no longer sure what he was dealing with. Royce, defensive now. You think I'm doing something wrong here? Jayden didn't raise his voice. Didn't blink. Jayden, soft. I think you should be recording this. Royce stepped back again. The smirk was gone. And the power. It had started to slip. Asterisk asterisk. Narrator asterisk asterisk asterisk. It didn't take shouting, didn't take force. All it took was the truth standing still long enough for a lie to reveal itself. Asterisk. Jayden stood beside his car. Hands still at his sides, the sun slipping lower behind him. Should have been over by now. Stop. A warning. A drive safe. But it wasn't. Because Officer Royce wasn't here to protect. He was here to prove something. Narrator, somber tone. Some men wear the badge to serve. Others wear it to remind the world they can't be questioned. Royce paced slowly in front of Jayden's car. He didn't say anything at first, just walked. Like he was thinking, planning, or maybe just enjoying the silence he thought he owned. Then he spoke. Officer Royce, louder. You know what I don't like. That look you're giving me. I know better than you look. Jayden didn't respond. Didn't flinch. He just kept eye contact. That bothered Royce more than yelling ever would. Royce mocking now. You think you're one of the good ones, huh? Clean shirt. Nice car. No weed smell. Saying so like it'll save you. Jaden's voice was soft, still respectful. Jaden. I think everyone deserves to be treated with respect, sir. Royce laughing. Yeah. And I think you're acting real polite. For someone hiding something. Royce raised his voice now, just loud enough for a few people on the street to hear. Royce. Step away from the car. I'm gonna search it. Jaden's eyes narrowed slightly. Jaden. You don't have probable cause. Royce challenging. And you don't have a say. Jaden looked around. 3 people had stopped on the sidewalk. An older man with a cane. A woman holding a grocery bag. A teenage boy with earbuds hanging out of one ear. All watching. None saying a word. Narrator. Humiliation doesn't always come in the form of violence. Sometimes it walks in, slowly. In front of your neighbors. Your childhood street. Your younger self watching from the curb. Royce moved to the passenger door. Pulled the handle. It was locked. Jaden stepped forward, calm but firm. Jaden. You're not allowed to search without cause or consent. Royce, stepping back to face him. You're raising your voice now. Jaden, still calm. No, sir. Just stating my rights. Royce moved closer. Too close. His nose inches from Jaden's. His voice low. Dark. Voice. What's your real name, huh? You use a fake one to buy that car. You people always find a way to cheat the system. Jaden's body tensed. Just for a second. His jaw moved. Not from fear. But because that was personal. Jaden quiet, cold. What did you say? Voice. You heard me. Silence. The wind moved through the trees. Plastic bag danced across the street. Then Jaden spoke, slower this time. Jaden. You don't know me, officer. And if you did, you'd know how dangerous it is to assume who I am. Royce leaned back slightly, something shifting in his eyes. Confusion. Doubt. A flicker of something. Royce snapping. Is that a threat? Jaden, even calmer now. No, sir. It's a warning. That you're crossing a line you can't uncross. Narrator. Sometimes power doesn't fall apart all at once. Sometimes it unravels slowly. Right after you push too far. Royce looked away for a moment. He didn't say it, but Jaden saw it. He was rattled. And Jaden. He was just getting started. Officer Royce stood in front of Jaden. Fists clenched just tight enough to shake. He was trying to keep control. But the way Jaden looked at him, calm, unblinking, it unsettled him more than yelling ever could. Royce, forcing a laugh. You talk like you've been in charge before. Jaden tilted his head just a little. Jaden, evenly. Maybe I have. Maybe you just don't recognize the kind of people I work with. Royce mocking. What, you got a cousin who's a lawyer? Jaden didn't smile. Didn't blink. Jaden. No. But you've probably read my last name before. If you ever looked close enough. Narrator. He didn't say it loud. He didn't shout. He just let the truth hang there, quiet, heavy, real. Royce squinted at him like he was trying to see something behind the face. Voice. Carter. So. Jaden. So maybe it's not just a name. Royce's voice grew sharper. Voice. You playin' some game with me? Jaden, dead serious. No, officer. I'm giving you a chance to think carefully about what you do next. Royce stepped back just half a step. But Jaden noticed. So did the people watching across the street. The woman with the grocery bag had set it down now. She crossed her arms. The teenage boy had stopped pretending to listen to music. He was staring. And Officer Royce. He was feeling it, that slow unraveling. Jaden, quiet. You don't need to do this. You can hand me my license back and this moment ends here. Or. Jaden didn't finish the sentence. He didn't need to. Royce, hardening again. I don't take orders from kids. Jaden, correcting. I didn't give one. I gave you a choice. Narrator. It wasn't the tone. It wasn't the words. It was the way Jaden stood there, like he knew what was coming. And Royce didn't. For the first time, Royce looked unsure. He didn't say anything. He just stood there, one hand still resting near his belt, the other squeezing Jaden's ID. Jaden glanced at it, then at him. Jaden, soft, controlled. "You're holding my license like it's power. But you haven't even looked at what's behind the name." Royce blinked, confused, still trying to figure him out. Royce, defensive. "You think you're somebody important." Jaden leaned in slightly, not threatening, but closer. "Jaden, I think you're about to find out." Narrator. And just like that, the uniform didn't feel so bulletproof anymore. The sun had nearly set. Long shadows stretched across the street. The crowd watching had grown to 5, maybe 6 people now. No one saying a word. Only watching. Officer Royce still held Jaden's license like it meant something. But the grip in his hand didn't match the look in his eyes anymore. 'Cause for the first time, Royce wasn't sure if he was still in control. Jaden stood calm. But behind that silence was a storm. Not of anger, but of truth. He took a quiet breath, then spoke, voice low, measured and steady. "Jaden, I'd like my license back now, officer." Royce snapping. "You think just because you talk smooth you get a free pass?" Jaden didn't react. He just slowly reached into his back pocket. One hand, clear, visible. "Jaden, no sudden moves. I'm reaching for my wallet." "I suggest you don't reach for anything at all." Royce blinked. Something about the way Jaden said that hit different. Jaden pulled out a slim, black leather badge holder. He didn't open it yet. He just held it in his hand. Then he spoke again, softly, clearly. "Jaden, before I show you this, I want you to remember everything you just said to me. Every assumption. Every word." Royce's face tightened. His voice just above a whisper. "Royce, what are you?" Jaden flipped the wallet open. Inside a gold badge. Real. Gleaming. Backed with a laminated ID card. Royce stared. His lips parted but no words came. "Jaden. Jaden Malik Carter. Federal Bureau of Investigation. Criminal Profiling and Law Enforcement Oversight Division. I'm embedded for undercover oversight and random incident response in LAPD jurisdiction." The silence that followed wasn't just quiet, it was crushing. Royce's face lost its color. His hand dropped away from his belt. His shoulders sagged just a little. "Jaden, softly. You profiled the wrong one today." The woman across the street gasped. The teenage boy's jaw dropped. The old man lowered his cane and whispered, "Damn." Narrator calm slow. Some people shout to be heard. Jaden never had to. Because truth has a volume of its own. Royce finally spoke, barely. "Voicers. You're FBI." "Jaden. I am. And this entire stop is now under federal review." Royce looked around, suddenly aware of the people. Eyes. The witnesses. And Jaden. He hadn't moved. Still calm. Still firm. Still holding the badge that said, "You messed with the wrong person. And now the system will know." "Jaden, one final look. This is the part where you return my license. Or make the biggest mistake of your career." Royce reached into his shirt pocket, slowly. His fingers trembled. He pulled out the license, handed it back. Didn't say a word. Jaden took it, tucked it into his wallet, closed the badge, stepped back. Then gave Royce one last look. Not with rage, not even with pride. Just with disappointment. Narrator soft. This wasn't over. But this part belonged to Jaden now. Jaden slipped the wallet back into his pocket. No dramatic gesture. No smugness. Just quiet practiced motion. Then he stepped toward the driver's door of his Honda. Still calm. Still collected. Still in control. Officer Royce stood there, silent. The weight of the badge he'd just seen was still pressing on his chest. Even heavier than the one on his own uniform. Narrator softly. Some men carry a badge. Others carry what it means. Jaden opened the door. But before sliding into the seat, he looked back. Not for long. Just a second. But in that second, he looked directly at Officer Royce. His eyes said what words didn't. You didn't see me. You saw what you feared. And now, you'll never forget it. That look. It landed like a punch Royce didn't see coming. Because it wasn't full of anger. It wasn't full of pride. It was full of truth. And truth doesn't yell. It stares back at you until you can't breathe. Jaden got in, shut the door, clicked his seatbelt, turned the key. The engine purred like nothing had happened. Royce still hadn't moved. His hand hung at his side. His mind was racing, but his mouth couldn't keep up. Jaden glanced once in the rearview mirror. One last time. Jaden, to himself, barely audible. You'll remember me now. And then he drove off. No tires squealing. No engine revving. Just the smooth sound of someone leaving with their dignity intact. And someone else left holding the weight of their mistake. Narrator. Royce thought it was over. But that stop, that 12-minute encounter, would follow him longer than any case he ever worked. He stood there for almost a full minute after Jaden was gone. Ill. Frozen. Haunted. Narrator low. 'Cause sometimes, silence leaves the loudest scar. In the distance, the sound of traffic resumed. Bus rolled by. The teen across the street shook his head and walked away, earbuds back in. But Royce, he didn't move. 'Cause that look broke him. 3 days had passed. The streets had forgotten. The bystanders moved on. But inside the walls of the LAPD Internal Affairs Division, a single report was about to restart it all. On a quiet Monday morning, Captain Karen Mendoza unlocked her office with a lukewarm coffee in hand. She had 30 unread emails. One was marked priority. Subject: Field Stop Conduct Review, Officer Daniel Royce. She clicked it. Attached: a PDF. Sender: Jaden Malik Carter. Title: Unlawful Stop and Racial Bias Conduct. Embedded Federal Review. A pause. Jaden Carter. The name felt familiar. Then she saw the second attachment. FBI credential validation. His badge. His division. His authority. Narrator. Some complaints get buried in inboxes. Others come wrapped in gold authority. Mendoza opened the file and began to read. Jaden's report wasn't angry. It wasn't exaggerated. It was precise, measured, undeniable. The subject conducted a roadside stop on false pretenses. Language used was racially coded and laced with intimidation. The officer mocked, provoked, and attempted illegal search without probable cause. I did not reveal my identity until the interaction escalated. Body language, tone, and procedural behavior were recorded via authorized field notes. Attached: a full transcription. Badge verification. List of passive witnesses. PD codes breached. Suggested action steps. Mendoza leaned back in her chair. She didn't sigh. Didn't panic. She just felt the weight. Because this wasn't just another citizen complaint. This was from someone who knew the system inside out. Someone trained to catch the rot others ignore. She called her assistant. Mendoza. Pull Officer Royce's record. Full file. I want any stop reports in the last 6 months. Especially any where the other party didn't file a complaint. Assistant. Right away, ma'am. She opened her drawer. Pulled out a yellow notepad. At the top she wrote one name. Royce D. Under it. Pattern or one-off. Is this the first time or just the first time he got caught? Narrator. A badge doesn't protect you from the truth. And in the right hands, a single report becomes a floodlight. By noon, the preliminary findings came in. 3 prior stops flagged for concern. 2 complaints labeled unfounded. 1 internal warning, buried in paperwork. And now, Jaden Carter's report had blown it wide open. Mendoza sat quietly, then picked up her phone. Mendoza firm. Notify Internal Review Board. I want Officer Royce in this building before the end of the day. And I want this file in front of the chief. Narrator. He thought it ended when Jaden drove away. But the truth had just hit the system. And it was louder than he ever imagined. Truth has no expiration date. Even when the moment ends, the echo stays. By 4 p.m., Officer Daniel Royce sat stiffly across from 3 members of the LAPD Internal Review Board. His badge sat on the table. So did a printed copy of Jaden's report. Across from him sat Captain Karen Mendoza, arms crossed. Next to her, Lieutenant Eli Navarro, internal ethics specialist. And beside him, a quiet, stone-faced man from the FBI Oversight Liaison Office. Nobody smiled. Captain Mendoza, flat. Officer Royce, do you recall the traffic stop that took place Friday evening on Western Avenue? Royce nodded once. Royce controlled. I do. The subject. Mendoza, interrupting. You mean the federal agent? Royce blinked. His mouth opened, closed. He gave a small nod. Narrator. He was trained for high-pressure situations. But not this kind. Not the kind where every word was already recorded. By someone who outranked him in silence alone. Lieutenant Navarro, sliding paper. We reviewed your body cam footage. Pauses. You turned it on 4 minutes after the stop began. Royce shifted in his seat. Voice. I forgot. Navarro. You've had 73 stops this year. How many times did you forget then? No answer. Narrator cold. Silence was the loudest pattern. But what Royce didn't know. Jaden's car, equipped with a hidden interior dash cam. And that footage caught everything. Tone. The words. The pause before the smirk. Back at the FBI's Law Enforcement Oversight Division, Jaden sat quietly across from his supervisor, Deputy Director Lana Miles. Her desk was cluttered with reports, files, but his sat neatly on top. Lana Miles, quietly. You handled it well. Jaden didn't smile. Jaden. I didn't want to. I just had to. She nodded, understood too well. Miles. Some agents chase terrorists. Some chase fraud. You chase something harder to prove. Jaden glanced down at his badge. Jaden soft. Sometimes the enemy's not across borders. He's across the street. 2 days later, Jaden sat in a small cafe on Crenshaw, black coffee in hand. The door opened. Officer Royce stepped in, not in uniform. He walked slowly to Jaden's table. Jaden didn't stand. He just nodded once, not out of kindness but protocol. Royce quiet. You set me up. Jaden flat. No, you set yourself up. I just wrote it down. Silence. Royce sat across from him. Royce tired. You don't get it. This job. It changes you. Jaden evenly. No. It reveals you. Weeks passed. Royce was suspended. Pending further review. Likely termination. 3 other officers from his precinct were flagged for similar conduct. The chain reaction had begun. Was reassigned. Another city. Another division. Another quiet storm to track. Narrator. He didn't wear capes. He didn't want medals. He just wanted the system to see itself. The way he saw it. One stop at a time. Months later, on a quiet afternoon in Chicago, Jaden walked out of a community center after guest speaking at a youth law seminar. A boy, no older than 13, ran up behind him. Boy breathless. Mr. Carter. Jaden turned. Oi. My uncle showed me the video. You were the guy in the car, right? Jaden smiled just a little. Jaden. I was the guy who didn't look away. The boy nodded. Oi. I wanna be like that. Jaden looked down at him. Not with pride. Not with burden. But with quiet hope. Jaden soft. Then start by standing still. Even when it's easier to run. Narrator closing. Some carry guns. Some carry hate. But the ones who carry truth. They carry the power to change everything. Without shouting. Without fear. Just standing. until the world has no choice but to see them. If this story made you think, share it. Let someone else feel what you felt. We're not just here to tell stories. We're here to remind the world. Respect matters. And truth always finds its way. Subscribe for more stories that challenge what we assume. And honor those who stay silent until it matters most.